In today's video, I'm going to share with you all some of the things I do to grow both of my daughters' hair. They both have long, thick, natural hair. And these are just things that I have learned over the years in taking care of their hair, taking care of my natural hair. We have learned so much, but I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that we do personally. You're trying to grow your kids' hair as well.
Just a quick note, these tips are great for anyone with natural hair. I do emphasize children, but I do all these same tips on my own hair. So if you're trying to grow thick, healthy, long, natural hair, keep watching this video.
All right, so tip number 1, keep it twisted. I rarely let their hair loose. You typically will see my daughter's hair in twists. They either have like buns or pigtails or different updos, but their hair is always twisted. I found this to work very well because both of my girls, they are wild, they're energetic, they like to do all kinds of stuff, and if I let their hair loose, it's just gonna get tangled, it's gonna get matted, and it's just gonna be very hard to manage. And plus, it also ends up, breaking, and you don't get to maintain that growth. So that is something that I always do. In the future, as they get older, I'll probably, let them wear their hair loose every now and again more as they're getting older and they're learning how to do their own hair, because that way they can take care of their own hair. But now while they're young and I'm taking care of their hair, it just works best to keep it twisted. All right, tip number 2, I wash their hair in twists. So I never wash their hair loose. I used to, but I learned that this does not work very well. I have to keep it sectioned off in twists as I wash their hair. That keeps it from tangling, that keeps it from matting. And then plus, I don't have to repart their hair because it's already parted off, because that is literally the worst part of styling their hair, is parting their hair. They can't stand it, I can't stand it. So once I finally discovered to just wash it in twists, and parted off already, that saved so much stress and misery in our hair washing days and styling days.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I wash my hair and both my daughter's hair in twists. So I just finished rinsing out the deep conditioner. And so I'm just making sure I got all the leftover residue rinsed out. And it's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
So if you kind of see up close, it's nice and clean. And it'll be a lot easier to style because it's still in the twist. Her scalp is nice and clean.
Ow, 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 ow.
And yeah, it's looking good.
All right, number 3, deep condition. So I will deep condition their hair after washing it. I'll have them sit under a steam cap for about 30 minutes, maybe more. I'll have them watch their favorite show or something. But that just helps all the moisture to just penetrate deep into their hair shaft, and it helps their hair to be shiny and not to break as much, and just to be overall very healthy. All right, so deep conditioning their hair. Number 4, keep a close eye on those ends. So what I have learned in my natural journey and my kids' natural journey is to watch those ends. I'm a big advocate, for thick, not just, thick hair up here, but I want thick ends. I really pay attention to what my ends are looking like, and same with my daughter. So if I see a bunch of straggly ends, like thin straggly ends, I'm getting rid of those. Like I want thick hair from the roots to the tip. So just keeping an eye on those ends. You don't have to trim like every month or every 2 months. I don't really keep an eye on like that. It's just whenever I see it needed. So if I see some straggliness, I just get rid of it. So I don't really have like a set schedule. All right. Just like a side note though, like if you can pay attention to your roots and your ends, you are going to grow healthy natural hair. As long as your roots are good, You got moisture and you're keeping them detangled, and then your ends are healthy and thick and not breaking and not dry. The rest of the hair in between is gonna obviously be healthy. So that's a good way of looking at it. What are the roots and what are the ends looking like on your hair? All right, tip number 5, keep it moisturized. That is huge. You want to be keeping an eye on your hair before it gets dry. So if you start to notice that your hair is on the verge of getting dry, you want to moisturize it before it gets to that point. So if you're always keeping your hair moisturized, then it's not going to dry up and become brittle and tangled and be hard to manage. And then, because if it's tangled and you have to manipulate it more, then you're going to end up losing more hair. So keep your hair moisturized. I'm going to be doing a video in the future as far as my favorite moisturizers to use, but pretty much my favorite products that we always use that have worked very well for us. But whatever you use, just as long as it's moisturizing to your hair, just make sure you're keeping it moisturized before it gets dry. And then the last tip I'm going to share with you is I don't put heat in my daughter's hair very often. I don't put heat in my hair very often. I actually just recently started putting more heat in it just to kind of wear it out for a little bit, but I'm actually going to be putting it back in protective styles. I like to do twists as well, but keeping the heat usage low to no heat really is the best thing you can do for your hair, because heat does weaken your hair. It can also eventually cause breakage, and the ends especially. So if you start to notice like a bunch of pieces, little pieces, that means that your hair is breaking. So you may want to reconsider some other options if you regularly put heat in your hair. I think I'll probably be just doing heat maybe a couple times a year for my hair, and then as my girls get older, I'll let them do heat, if they want to wear their hair out more. But right now, while they're young and I'm still doing their hair, I'm probably not going to put heat in it too often. All right, so those are just a few tips that I have found very successful for my hair, for both of my girls' hair, as far as growing long, thick, healthy hair. If you have any questions or any tips that you do for your hair, please feel free to comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to join this community. And please, would love for you to take a moment to click the subscribe button and join this community of women and stay connected with me. I would love to have you as part of our community. All right, so take care and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.